Hey guys, welcome to the first TV show review for the full year of 2025. On this episode of my TV show review series, I'll be reviewing the 2015 to 2017 Disney XD and Disney Channel series. And that is Star vs. the Forces of Evil. This is like amazing. What do you do if you have a friend from another dimension? Star vs. the Forces of Evil was originally aired on Disney XD, Disney Channel, originally streamed on Disney Life, Disney Now, and currently streaming on Disney+, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, and Apple TV. The series follows Star Butterfly, a magical princess from the dimension of Muni and the heiress to the royal throne of the Butterfly Kingdom. From tradition, she is given the family heirloom wand on her 14th birthday and was known to be the most energetic and silly child through the royal family. After she accidentally sets fire to the family castle, her parents, King River and Queen Moon Butterfly, decide that a safer option is to send her to Earth as a foreign exchange student, so she can continue her magic training there. She befriends student Marco Diaz and lives with his family in suburban Los Angeles while attending Echo Creek Academy. Going in a series of misadventures using dimensional scissors that can open portals, Star and Marco must deal with everyday school life while protecting Star's wand from falling into the hands of Ludo, a half-bird half-man creature from Muni who commands a group of monsters. As the series progresses, new, more threatening antagonists appear in the show, and things get far more complicated as major secrets are revealed. The writing for this show is mostly pretty decent, as while it does start off more silly and episodic, it slowly starts to get more story-driven and serious by the time we get to the end of Season 1, and this tone is kept for the rest of the series with some occasional silly adventures. And on top of that, the action is pretty solid, there's some intriguing drama, and there is some decent comedy. Also, while the first two seasons were pretty consistent with their writing and tone, the third season does change up the status quo, which is commendable, and while Season 3 was still good, this is where the cracks started to falter. But by the time we got to Season 4, this is where things went downhill, as the choices made are very questionable, and some of the characters make some very reckless decisions and alliances. And on top of that, there is a message regarding racism, prejudice, and segregation with the monsters, and it is a solid message to teach people, especially kids, but the way the series handles it, it can be a bit heavy-handed. The series does have a decent amount of pretty solid episodes like Star Comes to Earth, School Spirit, Mubity, Blood Moon Ball, St. Olga's Reformed School for Wayward Princesses, Munipendence Day, Storm the Castle, Ludo in the Wild, Game of Flags, Sleepover, Into the Wand, Page Turner, Bon Bon the Birthday Clown, Raid the Cave, Running with Scissors, The Hard Way, Face the Music, Star Crushed, the 7-part movie Battle for Muni, Stranger Danger, Deep Dive, Monster Bash, Total Eclipse of the Moon, Butterfly Trap, Schooled, Tough Love, Divide and Conquer. But there are some weak or just flat-out bad ones like Trickstar, and the majority of Season 4's episodes, which that season did have a couple of decent ones like Coronation Day, and honestly, with some tweaking, maybe that one could have served as a decent finale, but the actual finale cleaved, that one is just a rushed mess. The action scenes are pretty solid, as not only can they be a lot of fun, but they can also get pretty intense and suspenseful, like Star, Marco, and their allies facing off against villains like Ludo, Toffee, and their henchmen, escaping from very tight spots, and getting chased down. The show does have some pretty decent comedy, as while not every joke gets a laugh, there are decent amounts that do, like some of the witty banter and dialogue between the characters, the gags and slapstick, the more wacky and humorous shenanigans they get themselves into, and the occasional adult joke. The show does also have some pretty intriguing drama, and while there are some minor bits like Moon revealing that Toffee killed her mother, the majority of the drama comes from either the truth behind the leadership of Muni, or the various turns and twists in Star and Marco's relationship. And while the romantic stuff between Star and Marco was pretty wasted, the stuff involving Muni is pretty intriguing. The animation is pretty solid and does have an appealing look to it. The characters and creatures all have some very nice designs and pretty fluid movements, The backgrounds are pretty well crafted and do have a nice look to them, and there are some pretty solid effects. The characters are pretty likable for the most part, as they do have some nice chemistry, dynamics, and development. But as the series progresses, some of them make some very questionable choices. Star herself is a mostly pretty likable protagonist, as while she does start off very chaotic and unhinged, and usually gets right into fighting, she does learn to calm down and find other solutions to figure things out as the show progresses. Also, she learns to become more noble and humble. However, by the final episode, she makes a very questionable choice that does result in some very controversial consequences. Marco is also a pretty likable character for the most part, as when Star moves in, he does put up with a lot of her zany antics, but he does start to form a strong bond with her that he does want to protect and help her out. But this does result in him blowing off previous commitments. The rest of the characters all sort of fall in the same boat. They're good, but not great. And this is mainly shown with some choices that some of them make, like Star's stern mother Moon, who's mostly pretty likable but does make a terrible choice in the final season, her rough but loving father River, Marco's very caring parents Raphael and Angie, Star's usually hot-headed but also soft ex-boyfriend Tom, her magical guide Glossaric, the tough but sweet buff frog, the troublemaking Jana, the snarky Hekapoo despite initially plotting against Eclipsa before having a change of heart, the cool and understanding Jackie, the kind-hearted Kelly, the misunderstood Eclipsa, and the monstrous but friendly Globga. But there are some that aren't that good, like Ponyhead, who's easily the most annoying character in the show. Also, there's the magical Hykamizan, who started off pretty good with neat characters like the aforementioned Hekapoo, Rhombulus, Omnitraxus Prime, and Lekmet. However, with the exception of Hekapoo later on, they pretty much become villains in the later half of the final season. The villains are actually pretty solid for the most part, and they can be very menacing and intimidating, like the cunning Toffee, the short and hot-headed Ludo who winds up reforming, the strong and vengeful Meteora before turning into a baby to live a normal life with Eclipsa, and there's also the insane and genocidal Mina. The voice acting for the series is pretty good, which does result in the voice actors delivering some pretty solid performances, like Eden Sher as Star, Adam MacArthur as Marco, Grey Griffin as Moon and Jackie, Alan Tudyk as River and Ludo, Art Butler as Raphael, Nia Vardalos as Angie, Ryder Strong as Tom, Jeffrey Tambor and Keith David as Glossaric, Fred Tatasciore as Buff Frog, Abby Elliott as Jana, Zoshia Mamet as Hekapoo, Esme Bianco as Eclipsa, Jamie Camille as Globga, Jessica Walter as Meteora, Michael C. Hall as Toffee, Amy Sedaris as Mina, and more. The music for the series is pretty well composed, and it does capture the show's upbeat and comedic, but also dark and suspenseful tone. Overall, despite the last season throwing some things out of whack, for the most part, this is still a mostly solid show that is worth checking out. And so, verdict. 9 out of 10. This show is a masterpiece of the modern Disney Channel and Disney XD. Well everyone, that concludes today's episode of my TV show review series. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell for notifications. Until next time. See you guys soon, have a good day, and happy 10th anniversary to Star vs. the Forces of Evil everyone.
She's a